On this episode of Audiobook Club,
The Letters of Elsie Drake, aged 104.
it's Steve.
It's Bobbie.
And this is a podcast about audiobooks that is enclosing you all £5 to help cover the costs of you listening to it. There you go. There's the fiver. Now, Bobbie, you're 4 episodes in now as our new member. How are you enjoying the audiobook form? Because you didn't listen to a massive amount of audiobooks before. How are you enjoying this over and above printed?
I think it depends on what I was doing at the time. So I do loads of driving, obviously. So it's up and down the country. And I think it's one of those things about needs must. I need entertainment. So it would be podcasts. And now you've given me these brilliant audiobooks to listen to. And sometimes you get something you go, I'm not sure if that's me. And that's the whole point. It's about learning, isn't it? Is what does this teach me? And you think a book's not for you, like you've given me some, and I've gone, oh yeah, I wouldn't normally read this. And that's the whole point. So for me, it's a fabulous education. So thanks very much, Stevie P.
Well, I'm glad you said that, because after I suggested the Elsie Drake letters, age 104, I was like, well, this is going out on a limb here. We've kind of done solid work up to this point. We've done real, we've done factual, we've done the Ukraine war, we've done the Magic Faraway Tree, which is a classic, and here we are now with something completely different. This is the Elsie Drake letters, aged 104. It's by Robert Popper and Elsie Drake, narrated by Robert Popper, Heather Long and Joe Eyre. It was released on the 24th of October, 2024. So it's a bit of an oldie. 3.5 hours long, from John Murray and Hodder and Stoughton. Now, many of you have probably read this book now. It's a collection of letters, written by Robert Popper under the pseudonym of Elsie Drake, and in the style of a 104-year-old lady who's just getting to grips with computers and the internet. And I was thinking as I started listening to this book, because I love Robert Popper's work, his collaborations with Peter Serafinovich, Friday Night Dinner, which we'll come on to later on. But as I was listening to this book, I was like, I'm not sure. Is this funny? And then there's at some point in the book, and I think it was probably about, maybe a quarter of the way in, I get this. I really get what's going on here, and it is the loveliest book ever. But we'll come on to all of that, of course. We've got our 3-step process, which we go on to, of course, for our regular listeners. Step 1 is we talk about the author. Step 2, we talk about the actual book. Is it a good book? And of course, step 3 is, was it a good audiobook? What was the performance like? Was it just a competent narration, or was it totally outstanding and Oscar winning? So let's start off, Bobbie, with Robert Popper.
So if you didn't know Robert Popper before, actually you probably do if you're aware of anything great and award-winning on TV, because Robert Popper, British comedy writer, television producer, best-selling author, and probably best known for creating the TV sitcom Friday Night Dinner, which I know that's a favourite of yours, Steve. Now, as a producer, he worked on Peep Show, The IT Crowd, The Inbetweeners, Stuff Like Flats, and he also worked on South Park, which is, I don't know why it's extra special, but when you can cross the pond from a comedy writer's, producer's point of view, I think that's really important. Now,
I had no idea about the South Park thing at all.
Yes,
no idea.
Yes, he did. And now I can't remember which episode it was, but I'm going to find out, and you're going to go, right, I'm going to chase that down. I feel what I feel about this, especially with him and character creation. Now you look at all his work. Also, I think he's kind of unknown and undiscovered. It's simple, isn't it? About writers. They get ignored. We know the actors that play the part, but it's the writing that really is the gold. And I don't think writers are given enough credence for what they do. So all I want to see, Robert Popper, thank you very much. You're an absolute hero. You've gone on our list. Now, people don't know that Steve and I love comedy, and we have kind of different tranches that we go off and we go, I'm not sure if you'll like this or whatever. I was a little bit worried about this because I actually thought, maybe it's a Steve thing and it's not a Bob's thing.
I know. I was worried about, because we've got history. You took me to go and see Flight of the Conchords in Edinburgh 25 odd years ago. We were dancing with them at the after show. don't want to sort of name drop here, but it was well before they were massive, and all these people and all these, because you're very close. You were very close to that world. and I've got a really wide range of sense. Lots of things make me laugh. Lots of things. Clever really makes me laugh. The day to day, Chris Morris stuff, Jam, all that kind of thing.
Yeah, Blue Jam
is amazing. Peter Serafinovich, I think, is extraordinarily underrated for his character comedy. He just got one series on BBC Two, but it's so, the pair of them together on Look Around You as well. Which was this, if everyone hasn't seen Look Around You, it's it's like an two series. One was absolutely down to a T. If you were growing up at school during the 70s and 80s, it was school television when they used to wheel out the school TV and there'll be a clock counting down to the next program and all this sort of stuff going on, and the wacky experiments they performed on there. And the following series was based on an 80s version of Tomorrow's World with just the strangest inventions. Anyway, check it out if you've not had a chance. It might still be on iPlayer, but you can certainly still get it. So did I hit the mark? This is a test for each of us, isn't it? Did I hit the mark with you with this one?
Yeah, and we'll talk about why it works in a minute. But yes, thank you, Stevie P and Robert Popper. Thank you for Elsie, because she's fantastic. What a great character creation. And there's so much more to her than you think. So the writing is it unique? I was sitting thinking about this, about character creations, when you think of all the people that we love. And I like the absurd. I like the ridiculous. I really like the naughty in a character, but it's getting something different, isn't it? Especially with a kind of, you don't want a cliche. And Elsie is not a cliche. Just about the book, by the way. So Elsie is 104 years of age. She is Mrs. Elsie Drake of Granville Gardens, London. She is the 6th oldest woman in Britain. That's what she keeps reminding us. But she's fed up of sitting in her armchair all day. So Elsie is ready for new adventures. So armed with a new computer, this is the blurb, that she can barely operate, she fires off dozens of letters for people like the Prime Minister and Greg's Bakeries to see if they can help. I mean, it's so random as well. She offers her services, doesn't she, in the most ridiculous, brilliant, but kind of realistic ways that you might think that someone, I mean, is she believable?
They might take the bait as well.
They might take the bait. Yeah. I mean, we'll talk about how it works, but can anybody escape the clutches of Elsie Drake? So that's the blurb on the book. So it's a letter form. It's a comic novel. It's these letters. So you saying, does it hit the mark? Well, I suppose what you get is you just get this kind of gradual build. And I think that's what I like about it. It's really subtle in the beginning. The first letter, who's the first letter to? I'm just trying to think of the first letter she writes to in the book. And
there's
now
no chapter points, by the way, on the audiobook, which is really annoying. It just says the letters, so there's no clues here.
And it's really important, actually, that you just build, because you think, okay, because you start to get who she is as a person, how she one of those things I wanted to say, the magic is not just in the one letter. The magic is in the recipient, and are they game? Because that's the thing, isn't it? She writes a letter that she writes to, can I mention Flora Margarine? She writes to the boss of Flora Margarine, wanting to be the face of Flora. So you kind of go, okay, how are they going to handle this, right? Because then, of course, if you're the marketing exec or whatever, you're going to get this letter they think is genuine. I think that's what's really important. The letters are genuine, aren't they? To genuine businesses, and these are genuine responses. We think. Well, I think they are. So yeah. They are, aren't they? I'm right in that.
I mean, I wasn't so sure. I had to look up interviews with Robert Popper when the book came out a couple of years ago, and to see what exactly the deal was here. Because I thought, is it entirely made up? Because these replies from these organisations are not funny. They look like they could well have been done, by a customer service team or by a public relations team or by a CEO in one case, of course. And then hearing him being interviewed, I think it was on Richard Herring's Book Club podcast. Talking about who would buy and all the rest of it. So it confirmed these are real replies from real organisations, and it's the the character is so brilliant because what he's doing is actually pretty naughty. He's wasting people's time and all the rest of it, basking these outlandish things. But because he's doing it in the guise of a gentle, sweet 106-year-old lady, well, we say gentle and sweet, apart from her hatred of Mrs. Hale, her sworn enemy in each letter, sticking her stuff down the drain and all the rest of it. But these organisations are compelled to reply, and even the way they say this correspondence really has to stop now. They're so gentle and lovely, complimenting on her age and how clever she is, and her vivid memories, and of course we'd love to create this new flavour of sausage roll at Greg's, or unfortunately
with a touch of banana.
With a touch of banana. This meat we're going to you sent us. These sort of things, the constant, and I love the fact the whole £5 thing. Every single letter, I enclose £5.
That's the running gag, isn't it? That is the running gag. Can I just say, I think who keeps the £5? Because they return it in almost every single case, but one I remember. So what I'm going to say is, I'm just going to put it out there. There is one case where the £5 is not returned, and that's. I mean, it's for a good reason. Yes, that's fine. Yes,
it's a controversial choice because it was assumed it was a donation to. Can we say? Can we? Yeah, to the Catholic Church. It was the Catholic Church that kept the cash.
Was it Catholic? Because I thought it was the zoo that kept it to help
it might have been.
The animals.
That's two then. That's two.
Okay,
that's two. The Pope, when she wrote to Dear Mr. Pope, in the Vatican, Mrs. Hale says that you go. Was it Mrs. Hale? Was it her friend Bess who said that I heard that you can fly and you can melt metal objects with your eyes or something. Can you do this? Please say you can't because Mrs. Hale thinks you can. And thank you for your donation of £5. Yep, they kept that.
There's real pathos in this character as well, isn't there? Because she's the way Popper writes her. You get this idea of a woman that at one time would have sang "Roll Out the Barrel." You know what I mean? She comes from that era. You know the film This Happy Breed? There's a film filmed in 1945. It's brilliant, about kind of just after the war, a kind of different type of English person, English family. And I love, it's one of my favourite films. It's called This Happy Breed. And I can see her as one of those family members that's now 104. And you think she doesn't fit. So is it incongruous that she doesn't fit with this world, but she's trying to. And I don't think it's just that she's of an age that doesn't fit because she's trying to. What she is she's more than that. She's really naughty and having fun in her older. She's the kind of woman I want to be when I'm 100.
Yeah.
Well, actually, maybe next week. Maybe.
Bobbie.
Well, I love her naughtiness. Also, she's incredibly clever. She writes to Wimpy, and there's such satire in her letter to Wimpy. And there's a brilliant bit of satire that she writes to the Daily Mail, and they ask her for a look at her life. She writes to
Paul Dacre, the editor,
yes.
the famous editor of, yeah.
So all these things about who she's writing to, what she's trying to do, basically, Popper set up a character to create mischief with genuine companies and to see what their response is. And there they are in a book. So it's a bit like That's Life, isn't it?
It is a little bit.
There's a little bit of touch of That's Life. There's a little bit of kind of fixing the dreams of the elderly, you know. But there's so much fun in it. And I want to say this, right? Because I always say, right, so what's this book for? Is it a road trip book? Is it one for the gym? I did listen to it a bit in the gym, but I kept laughing out loud. And you don't want to be on the travel later. You don't want to be on the treadmill, you know, laughing your head off on a treadmill. It's not right. So I thought about this. It's more than a road trip book. This is a breakdown book. This is when your car's breaking down. Something big's happened. It's going to cost you a fortune. Not only that, the relay services are not going to come for 8 hours, or it's a traffic jam book, because you will laugh. You will. The reason why is you will so laugh, and also you've got time to kind of immerse yourself in her world, because bit by bit you get that how she lives. And like you said, her friend Bessie, who she obviously loves, Mrs. Hale, we don't even know what her first name is, but she's always digging at Mrs. Hale. And there's a couple of people that kind of remind her that she's not what she thinks she is, and she doesn't like them either.
her her husband who died in 1950, Sydney, who invented 3 characters that she wanted, which she wrote to Rice Krispies, wrote to Kellogg's and said, I heard you're replacing Snap, Crackle and Pop. My husband Sydney came up with these 3 characters. Could you? It would make my year for you to have these characters on your cereal box. And like ones, they start talking about a head louse on the front of a Kellogg's box, nibbling away at the characters or something.
The thing is, I would love to speak to Popper. It's can we get him as a guest? Please, can we get him as a guest? Because the things I want to ask him is, what's it like in your house? What do you think about all the ridiculousness, the absurdity of the content? And you going, I'll tell you what we'll do is let's write to, I don't know, I'm just trying to think, who could we write to, and then send them up and gently take the mickey without them thinking, actually, is this real? Because that's the doubt, isn't it? They create a kind of, well, it might be real. So,
well, I mean, as we record, we're recording this on the 30th of June, and currently Andy Burnham is going around being very, very sort of blokey and very down to earth and normal and everything. Maybe we test his mettle and and see if we can write as a 104-year-old lady and see how far he will go.
Elsie Drake, she wrote to Theresa May, didn't she?
She did. Yes.
That's an interesting story. So maybe it doesn't stop here.
It was the CEO one that I liked, the Land Rover one. Did you remember that?
Because of the story. You'll sit again. Some of these stories are just kind of, that's brilliant. Some of them are going, you're kidding me. You are absolutely kidding me that you're actually going to write that and get away with it. It
had me laughing for so long, but it was the reply, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The reply from
we don't want to
CEO
give
of Land Rover.
I
know.
We can't. We've got to save it for the book. Save it. It's so thank you for recommending this to me, because it might be one I miss. So this could have been one at Bobbie missed. So thank you very much, DVP.
Oh, that's great.
I'll return the favour.
I'm looking forward to it. By the way, I flagged up Radio Spirit World to you. Did you get a chance to listen to Radio Spirit World?
I didn't, because I didn't want to spoil this. I was focusing on Elsie Drake. So that's my treat afterwards. And the other thing is, I was sitting there thinking, surely Elsie Drake, is this a work in progress for a comedy series? I was thinking, like, Small Profits is my favourite thing at the minute. Yeah, it's a fabulous bit of work. Same as The Detectorist. These are Mackenzie Crook written characters, and I always love little people doing brilliant things. And I think Elsie Drake would be great as that. But the other thing I was thinking, what we need is a countrywide phone-in show again, like the old days that we had in the 90s. And Elsie Drake could be a character. So Robert Popper, let's give her not our own radio show. Let's make her part of a. Can you imagine Monday nights when nothing, and you turn on the radio at 10 o'clock at night, and you get this phone-in show, and then you get Elsie as a character?
Oh, amazing!
That'd be great.
I've missed those days. I mean, maybe it's something we set up for a live stream or something, some sort of like a phone-in show, like the old. We got a picture of the UK and a flashing dot from where they're calling from.
Yeah,
that sort of stuff from years ago.
Well, even with Elsie, I was thinking of the late Steve Wright with his old woman character. I mean, Joyce was a real person, and that incongruous setup between old and new. It's that the magic was in the conflict between the two, and Elsie does she does that, but she does more. I would hate to say it's just about conflict between two ages, because it's not, because Elsie is so much cleverer than that. And what a device it really is. What a great device she is.
Can you imagine some of the conversations around some of these offices of letters that she wrote to about, she'd be explaining about her gripes with Mrs. Hale and these outlandish stories and everything. And some of those replies actually mention specifically, her drama that she was going through.
What with
Elsie.
Mrs. Hale? Yes.
Yeah.
In fact, one of the letters she wrote to, I can't remember what it was, is he said that Mrs. Hale was very cheeky. No, he said Elsie was very cheeky. And then she said, and then the response was, I'm upset that you called me cheeky. And he went, oh no, I got it wrong. It was Mrs. Hell. So that dialogue that she builds and they build, that's the magic. It's absolute magic that you can't rely on. You can't dictate. So the amount of work that Popper put into this, in taking a risk of going, okay, I mean, how many letters did he write originally? To kind of scale it down to this kind of distilled version of Elsie Drake. I'd love to know that. Let's get him in.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, if if on a very tiny off chance you hear this, Robert, please come on in and talk about so we'll push a few more copies of this book that came out October 2024, finger on the pulse as ever here with this one, eh?
Well, the other thing I really liked, I just want to put a thing, there's a moment that she talks about her nephew who teaches her how to use the computer. And there's just one line where you go, hold on a second, did you really say? You get, okay. Okay. Yes. And I've got to save it. I've got to save it for the book because I don't want to ruin it. But I laughed.
No, I know.
Again,
I was
on the treadmill and I laughed out loud. I just thought that is inspired. And it's also so throwaway. That's not what you're focusing on. So it's great.
These tiny lines. It's these tiny lines, isn't it? That she says when she asks a question of the recipient that she's writing to. Do you think I'm horrible or whatever it is? She asked in the letter. Yeah.
It's funny because this with some of them you expect a cease a cease and desist letter.
Yeah.
You expect one of them to send through one of those, but they don't. I think they think because again some of them might think a pat on the head is enough. Oh look, there's an old woman. She's just learning how to use the computer and sending us a letter. That's not what's happening. But
it's a bit of Russian roulette, isn't it? It's a bit of Russision roulette. Who is going? Yeah, wait. I mean, all I'd say is listen to the Stansted Airport one. Won't say any more about that, but
this is awful. This is where we go, guys. You've got to listen to this. It's a great book. Please, have it.
Yeah,
have it in your car. Have it when you're stuck. Have it when. Actually, here's the thing. Have it when you're not meant to laugh at work and try not to laugh. There you go.
Oh, perfect. It's good for the open plan office, this one. It's perfect for the open plan office.
It certainly is.
Have we exhausted all the points we were going to write about this book here? I'm just looking at Walkers as well. Listen to the Walkers one. That's lovely. It's one of the most life affirming books. We talk about how it's sort of poking the corporate world and everything and with outlandish requests, but actually it's the responses that made me think there are some lovely people in the world, and there's some really genuine people in the world, and there's some this would have made some of these people who receive these letters from Elsie, it would have made their day. It would have just this be the funniest thing, would have been the conversation of the day all day long, and the responses that Elsie received back was some of the most life-affirming things I've heard. And I never thought I'd say that about large global companies really and organizations. It was really nice to hear that.
Yeah, you're right. Because the thing is, there are two kinds of people. There are people that would have thrown Elsie's letter in the bin, not responded. And there are the people that went, this woman deserves an answer. Little did they know what was coming next. But you're right. And the people that decided to respond back, they should have, I don't know, they should get a badge. They responded to Elsie because they're a certain kind of person. They're a good person, I think. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. I think so.
Definitely.
I think so. I can't recommend it enough, Stevie P. Thank you very much.
Okay, that is the book. Well, so of course, in terms of narration, it's a bit of an odd one. This is a character, isn't it? So we've, you have all these books where the author plays the character, Steve Coogan doing Alan Partridge, so he voices all of his audiobooks as Alan Partridge and all the rest and similar ones like that. But we've got Robert Popper playing the part of Elsie, along with Heather Long and Joe Eyre, who are reading out the replies in different styles, different accents, and what have you. The performance of Elsie, how did you find Robert Popper doing a 104-year-old lady?
Well, I think it's really important because he doesn't do her realistically, does he? There's somebody putting on a voice. It's genuine. I mean, that says it all, doesn't it? She is not real from our point of view.
Yeah.
However, it doesn't take long for you to forget that and believe she is real. And that's what I'm saying about the writing. is it so fabulous, and all the situations. I say pathos, absolutely. Satire, brilliant. Laughter out loud. Everything is there. It's just terrific. So you have to listen. In fact, actually, it's probably, I can't compare because I haven't read it. I think this is a book to hear.
Yes, it is a book to hear, isn't it? This is over and above the printed version. Yeah, it's definitely one that you should absolutely have the audiobook version of. And respect to Heather Long and Joe Eyre as well, because I thought the characters they played in responses, because you can't just read out every single reply in the same voice and the same style. You know, there's, reading out the Stansted Airport reply was slightly, a bit of an Essex lilt, and others were, different parts of the country and different styles and all the rest of it, sort of matching the company to, the kind of
the location,
the voice that they. The kind of voice they put on there, and so they were excellent to keep you engaged. Because it could have lost something from the book actually if they had just read it in the same voice the whole time. And I think they had a big contribution to make this audiobook as well. So it was great. So we're saying massive, great performance for the audiobook version and the narrators, as it were, and the book itself we're recommending as well. That's another. We'll have to get a bell or something to say something we're recommending here. I haven't thought of that over the last 7 years or so.
It needs a special sticker, doesn't it? It needs something.
It needs a special sticker. Yeah, that might be a bit of a tough one to surmount on in an audio podcast. Works on YouTube.
You go. Thumbs up. Yep. There you go. Big
Look
thumbs
at that.
Up.
Thumbs up. There you go. I heard this. I'll do a thumbs up. It does make a crack.
You will not be disappointed. Just dive it. It's one of those things about give yourself time to kind of sink into her. She's great. And let's see her. Let's see her on the screen. Let's see more of her.
Absolutely.
That's what I would say.
Yes, Elsie Drake the series should be coming soon. But that was the Elsie Drake letters, age 104, by Robert Popper and Elsie Drake, narrated by Robert Popper, Heather Long and Joe Eyre. It's been out since 24th of October 2024. It's only 3 hours and 29 minutes long, from John Murray and Hodder and Stoughton. So next week, another change of tack. We'll stop saying that because every week is a change of tack, but we're going from surreal humor to true crime, and something that really happened a few years ago. What's coming up next week, Bob?
It is London Falling, not to be mistaken with London Calling, the Clash song. So London Falling, it's by Patrick Radden Keefe. It is narrated by the author, Patrick Radden Keefe as well. Released on the 7th of April 2026 of this year. It's a long one. It's 12 hours and 59 minutes. It's for the long road trip, I think, and it's published by Picador. It's a riveting blend of true crime, social history, and investigative journalism, written and read by one of the most decorated non-fiction authors working today. I've not listened to him before. I cannot wait, and I love true crime. So I'm really excited about it. This is the one I thought would be my absolute favourite. I loved If Russia Wins a Scenario. I was really looking forward to this. So let's see.
Okay, well, that's the one then. If you have listened to London Falling already, and a lot of people have, it's been in the charts for a while now, ever since it came out a few months ago, and it's stayed there. So London Falling is much vaunted already. If you've been listening to it, just drop us your thoughts. The hashtag is Audiobook Club. We are Audiobook Show on Blue Sky and Instagram, where we're posting clips from our episodes as well to sort of wet your whistle. If you want to get in touch with any of us, by the way, on Instagram, Whinging Pom for Matt, Real Bobbie Pryor for Bobbie, and Steve K Photos for myself, and Audiobook Club 1540 is the YouTube channel where we post up our episodes, and you can watch us and our big grinning faces, and indeed watch our thumbs ups, because we do a few visual things that we really shouldn't be doing for an audio podcast. Don't exclude our first loves, you can get all our episodes on audiobookclub.net as well, and also, of course, wherever you get your podcasts. I think that's all the credits. Oh, by the way, one thing I always keep forgetting to do, Bob, you hear every other podcast going, please, for the love of everything, like and subscribe. Please do that.
The problem is,
don't want to come across as desperate, but
we do this for fun. We do this because we love it, and we love books and audiobooks. So that's the thing.
Yeah, categorically, we're not crawling across broken glass in an in an empty field in the name of getting likes and subscribes. So
Also,
yeah, absolutely.
I was thinking, why don't they tell us what book we should read next week? Maybe listen to next week.
That would be nice. Yeah,
get some review recommendations.
Would love
comedy,
yeah,
definitely. True crime, definitely up for that.
There's been a documentary this past weekend about Rick Mayall. So Rick Mayall, obviously, we lost some years ago now, and he did a book. He wrote his autobiography, which I've never read, but just watching the talking heads on this documentary, it's one of those sort of outlandish kind of. It's not his actual life, if you know what I mean, but it's kind of blown up and exaggerated like he was. And he never did an audiobook of it. He never recorded it. He wanted to, but didn't do it. And of course, he obviously won't anymore. So that's I was like searching high and low for it when I was thought, oh, it'd be great to have a look at was it called Bigger Than Hitler, Better Than Christ? Was his name, his autobiography. Very Rick Mayall. But yeah, there you go. So I'd like to know from you, what's the best audiobook you've ever read? There you go.
Oh, I need time on that one for next week.
Yeah.
On that
note, we will go. So we'll see you then. We'll see you then before London falls. Ta-da.
Yeah.